basics. Curious if it's coming out pretty square too. Yeah, just a touch off a square, but not too bad. So I've got, looks like 13 inches that way and about 12 and a half that way. So I could split it in half. Wouldn't be a big deal at this point. Let's see something here. Yeah, just about 12 and a half. Oh, and that one is 12 and a half. So 12 and a half each way. Let's find center. 6 1/4 right there. That will be center right there. Flat. I'll find a use for it. Put a strap up here so I can run a line across diagonally so I can get this end wall up. I think that's going to be my best bet. Too far that time. made it. Yeah, for the moment I'll just put it right here, but okay, so that's just a few of the boards. Well, good morning, folks. This is Monday morning. I've got 36 pieces of wood over here for this wall build. I've got the 2 end cuts down here. I went ahead and climbed up the trees and got probably a good, on this side from the ground level, I'm probably a good 24 feet up, about 20 feet up on this side. And that'll give me a good height to lift the wall with this chain that I have behind me hanging. I think what I'm going to do this morning, it's still a little bit cool. We're in the hot time of year. It's going to be hot from here on out. My lines, just to inform you, what happened is because of the length, I've got probably about a, well, let's tell you how much of a gap I have. So I went from each end, came in, so I'm going to have a board here and a board here. We're literally about 8 inches apart, which is perfect because that'll give me a place to do a beam right in the middle of the building. I want to have a support beam that runs right up and supports the beam all the way out the roof, the ridge beam. So, plus I like the looks of a beam inside. So I'll be mounting the beam against 2 studs and the floor all the way up. Now, mind you, I also have a support right there. This is not going to land. This will land dead right over the other beam that's running underneath this floor. So I've got full support all the way up to the roof line by doing that. And I like to support my ridge beam. It'll just be easier for me to install it by myself. And hopefully, this is about probably 15 feet of chain pulley system that I can pull the beam up. The ridge beam, I kept it a little bit smaller than normally I do. I think it's a 5 by 6 beam. So that's going to be the top plate beams and the ridge beam, 3 of them, and they're 27.5 feet long. It's going to go out over the deck, which I will have to put beams on as well. So that is the whole purpose of doing that. I'm going to have a subfloor up here too. So this is just the first level, 8-foot level of the wall system. After all these walls are done, I've got to build a second section, and you'll see why when that time comes. Same thing, crown side up if there's a crown side on these. Doesn't look like this one has one. Let's get these 2 on first. Same thing, we're good. before I put the blocking in, I want to make sure this thing's squared up. And then, before I lift the wall, I'm going to put some supports on it. Whoops. Would help if I put the screws in the screw bucket. There we go. Oops. Nail down. There we go. See? I think I can get that hammered in there, but we'll try it. Looks like I can. That's what I wanted. I've got a couple of not very good boards to use. Let's see here. I just need to create some pivot points. Right now these are just to help me stand it up. Let's see what we can do here. If this will. There we go. Main reason I did this is when I put the sheathing on the wall that I'm going to make, I wanted it to be even with the floor. Kind of a drip edge. At any rate, we're up, we're stabilized. I'm going to leave, like I said, everything hooked up. Nice thing is now I got a backing here, and on the other side I could take out these center ones and reuse them on the next wall, and that'll give me something to go up against. All this stuff will stay in place. At the very end, before I anchor all this, I will be making sure the bottom's square, anchor the bottom, then I'll make sure the top's square, and then I'll get it all tied together at that point. And that's the way I'm going to do it. It works for me. Let's go ahead and get a board. Yeah, I got room to work now. Fortunately, I'm right-handed. It'd be a lot easier still. This is still hard to do. Let's see what I can do here. Yay. That'll work. Potentially right here, closer to the center. I don't know if I want to do that, but I'm thinking about building a bathroom over here, so I want enough room to build a corner bathroom. And I want it on this end. I want to put a bedroom set over here on this end, probably, or possibly right here, and then keep the work area over here as you first walk in, and put the bedroom at the back. That might work out. So I need to think about this a little bit as I go, but at the moment, I'm going to plan this out like, put some more boards here. Even though I marked everything, I did it just so I could sit there and fiddle with these and move them back and forth. So I want to put one more of these here, and then I'll do a spread here. Let's see. All right, we're to that bright time of day, so I know this might be a little tough to see. I'm sorry. I had a couple things to do today, so I'm back on this. My windows are 65.5 inches with giving me about 3/8 of an inch on each side of room to shim it in place. They're also about 45 inches in height. So I got 2 windows in here. I'm going to do the exact duplicate to the other side. So I got 2 windows here, 2 windows there. The other window's broken, the big piece. So what I might do is just make 2 small ones and just make 1 window that opens and put that in the front here. So that'll be a whole different size. I'll have to fabricate that on up. But I'll worry about that later when I get to doing this wall. Then I'll figure it out. But for now, what I got to do is anchor this one over here, leave this one loose so I can work with the framework I got to do for the windows. And I've got to make a double header for up here, and I figured out that I want to come down about 8 inches from the top here and put the window in, so the window will stop right about here, and that'll, you know, be about this height, which will be kind of nice. That'll work out good. The windows will be up a little bit. So the center one I won't anchor right now, so I can get it out of the way while I'm hammering into this stuff. I don't want to use screws. I want to use nails on a lot of this. I want to get this as strong as I can. It's an 18-foot wall, dead even. So it's a little shorter wall than this one. I think this one came to 18'6". So it's about 6 inches shorter on this wall. But at any rate, I want it to be pretty strong, and I'm building a secondary wall 2'8" on top of these walls will be the total height before the roof starts coming into play. And that's so that I have a little bit of wall when I go and put a loft floor in. I have a little bit of wall before the roof comes down. It'll just give it a little more room up there for storage. So without talking much more, let's just get to work and get this done. So just like the other wall, this is bowed up like this. So that's going to be the outside again. All right, California corners after my hand rest a little bit. Get those done. Then I'll start cutting wood. I've already got this marked and this marked, so we'll go ahead and get all 4 of those done. Then I can put in the rest of the pieces that go across here, as well as the stuff to go in between here to create more support, and down here too. So that'll all play a part, and I should be able to use less wood that way. Looking at what I have left, I'm going to almost have enough to get that wall done and this wall done, I think. Especially with the fact that I'm putting a door in there, and it's not going to take as much wood as this wall. This wall took the most wood because there's no windows on this at all. In fact, I'm pretty sure I just want to keep this wall like this, and contemplating I'll have a corner bathroom here, and I'll put a bedroom over there. And the reason that is the bathroom won't take much room. It's just a toilet. Then I'll have all this wall space to put pegboard up, where I have no wall space for pegboard here. So by creating this identical area, I'll have a nice area to walk into and work off the wall for some of my tools. I can just go down that, and then I may put a bench over here, a workbench over here. I do have a nightstand that's going to go in here. All the bedroom set's going to be all temporary until the cabin for me to live in is built. Then that stuff gets moved. But until then, it can just be in here and be utilized as a guest cabin as well as a shop. Most of my work I'll try to do outside. If I do anything in here, what I'll probably do is I'll frame in and do a plastic type barrier. Just do like a clear plastic barrier, and then do some slatted plastic so that you can walk through it and keep as much dust out as possible. Because if I do any kind of sanding or sawing in here, the guest room, I don't want to have to clean it out every time. So we'll get it figured out. But next project is to get the California corners positioned properly, anchored into place. The floor, it's got some raised areas in some spots because the floors, there's been a little bit of cupping going on while it's been sitting out here in the weather drying, which is bound to happen anyways. My goal is later on, if I get a floor sander, is to punch the nail heads down just enough that I can come over this and even this floor out with a floor sander if I decide to do that. Problem is, I need to move the line. I'm not going to do that till tomorrow, which means that'll be on the next video. But the next video, I should have all 3 walls up and a 4th one made, but I don't plan on putting it up exactly yet. I've got a neighbor giving me a wood stove, an old bell-shaped classic style, and it's like 48 inches wide. I don't want to do the doorway that wide. I don't think I'll ever have to take it out. But if I do use the French doors that are glass, which will bring more light in here, then it won't be a big deal. So between now and probably tomorrow, I'll figure out if I'm going to use those on this building, and I may. Here, this is almost done. All that's left is to do the blocking in just a few little spots here. I've got 3 places over there, 2 in the middle, and 1 at this end. Minimal blocking. We'll get that done next video, and we'll get this wall lifted up on the next video, and I'll build the wall to the other side of me here, get it up, and then we'll probably build this wall as well. I imagine that's going to be no problem. Only thing I'm going to do is I've got plenty of wood sitting here to do 1 wall, but I may run a little short, maybe 7 boards short on 1 wall. So I'll have to mill a few more boards. I'll double check my counts, because the first thing I'll do is I'll mill any boards that I need next week so that they can dry a little bit, because they'll be green and I want them to dry a little bit. And then I'll come back and start installing them on the final wall. But that being said, we're pretty close to being all walled in here. And then I'll start on the second wall top section that's 2'8", and that's because I'm going to put in a loft floor and I want to have that extra height. So the loft floor that I want to put in will be at 8'8" for the bottom of the floor. So that's where that's going to be. And then that'll give a good 24 inches of wall space before the roof comes down in the loft. That'll make nice room up there. And other than that, that's going to be the next week thing, working on all that and getting that tied in. And once that's tied in, then I'll start on the roof. And I may actually start on putting the beams in and getting all the floor beams in for the loft floor, because that'll really stiffen up this build and it'll give me a place to walk up there when I'm building the roof. So I think I'll go that route, thinking out loud. And I hope that if you haven't liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not following, please follow my channel. It means a lot to me for you to do those things, because it really helps my channel out and helps keep my channel going. So please like and follow. I really appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.